Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time. It is Wednesday, and that means we get the one and only Matt, the mortgage guy. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, Mike. How you doing?
I'm doing well. This is going to be kind of a heavy conversation. I'm hoping it's a conversation that wakes people up. I'm hoping it's a conversation that not only wakes up my followers, but maybe they can help others, because I think people that generally watch one rental at a time won't get got by this, but people that don't might. And we've talked about it for the last 6 weeks. We think that the mortgage industry as a collection is going to be smaller in the very near future, if not already. Refi demand could fall as much as 75%. And unfortunately, we are seeing increasing bad actors, big online mortgage houses, frankly, in my opinion, take advantage of people. And I think you might be seeing the same things. I hear you might have talked to Bloomberg here recently. So what's going on in this space? How can we help people?
Yeah, and this is something that I'm sometimes I forget how passionate I am about it. And then Bloomberg reaches out and hey, we want to talk about an increase in cash out refinance demand. We want to talk about specifically more VA, more FHA, more 580 to 640 credit score borrowers taking advantage of an opportunity to do a cash out refinance. And I don't think that when they contacted me, they were I don't think that they thought they were going to get the answer that they got.
Yeah, they thought it was a good thing. Oh boy, people got more cash.
And they reach out to me like, hey, you're a mortgage broker that does a lot of business. Tell me why or how people are doing more of this. And I said, listen, we're not writing a ton of FHA cash out. We're not writing VA cash out to 100%. We're not doing debt consolidation for people with low credit scores just because they have equity. And the fact that the numbers and the stats show that more of that is being written, I can't imagine any other answer to that than people are being preyed upon. Like there's companies that are being strategic about, hey, listen, these folks have a lot of equity. How do we talk them into doing a refinance? It can't be a rate thing. 20 and 21, it was easy. All we had to do was show them 2.625. They were going to save $300 a month on their payment, piece of cake, right? That has evaporated.
Yeah.
That is, that demand has fallen off a cliff where, the numbers for, I saw an article today that said bye-bye refi, right? And it's year-over-year numbers for refinance. We know that we're going to continue to see those increase as, the last few get written. But these companies that are trying to fill that void, this is my opinion, of the rate and term refinance going away or substantially decreasing. They're trying to fill that void with cash out refinance when the vast majority of those are being written for people with lower credit scores. It tells me that they're targeting those people. It tells me that there's scripts. And like I told Bloomberg, reach out to former Rocket Mortgage call center people, because I've talked to them. They literally have scripts where they can do, gymnastics around, oh, well, I hear what you're saying. You've got a 2.875, but hear me out. Your Home Depot card, you're this card, you're that card. Collectively, you've got a blended rate of 6.5. So if we do a cash out refinance and bring you up to 4.5, it's better than what it's not. You don't finance that stuff over 30 years. And like, you said it's a heavy conversation. To me, it scares me for the folks who are the most vulnerable, who finally got on the property ladder and they've got into the home ownership game. One of the greatest things about home ownership is this forced savings. You're paying your mortgage every month and your balance is going down. Like if you do a FHA cash out refinance, you pay a 1.75% fee to FHA. So on a $300,000 loan, that's $5,250.
Okay.
Plus origination charges, plus underwrite, plus like these people that might pay off 20 or 25,000 in credit card debt, but they pay 12,000 in fees. Not a good deal. And so like the fact that this stuff is being written, I should scream from the rooftops, please, if you're a consumer and you're talking to somebody who's trying to, convince you that it makes sense, really take a look, probably get a second opinion. If 30,000 in credit card debt might in the short term lower your monthly cash flow by, $200, but also, instead of paying things off in 4 years, now you're 30, like it might not be a good long-term deal. And I think, during this conversation I had with Bloomberg, there's cash out refinances that make sense.
Oh, for sure.
There's things that people are doing with this equity in their homes that make sense. The problem that I have is savvy investor, 780 credit score, pulling out equity, using this 4% money to go out and invest and get 12 and 14% winning. And then sub 640 credit score being targeted, higher fees, higher rates, and, not necessarily using this money to make more money, but maybe pay off some short-term debt, which we probably can assume they're going to go rack that up again. Exactly. Right?
Yeah.
Because, a lifestyle habit where you're outspending your earning is not something that goes away magically when you refinance. Like you still have those habits in place. And so, that's the kind of stuff where the most vulnerable and the people that can afford the least to be put into a bad loan or bad financial situations are the ones who are, fueling this uptick in cash out refinances. I've seen the data and I've talked to the, prepay guys at hedge funds about, lower credit scores and the folks that are doing it. I know how many I wrote for savvy investors, high credit score, 800,000 in equity, and they had money on the sidelines. Plus they put this extra money, into their bank for opportunities. This is different. This is something that scares me where I don't like it, to be honest.
No, there's a couple of things about this that I'll say is one, this feels predatory, right? They are looking for easy marks. And when they found a script that works, they just keep repeating it, right? It's the classic boiler room that you see in all the Wall Street movies. That's clearly what it feels like is going on. Second, folks, if you're watching my channel, there's a pretty good chance that you probably, if this is you probably already recognized it because we've been talking about it for weeks. Don't do this. But there's a good chance that somebody in your network, somebody in your family, somebody in your real estate community might be thinking about doing a 100% cash out refi VA or a low credit score FHA loan. Do us a favor, pass along Matt the Mortgage Guy's contact info, greatmortgagebroker.com. Is that right?
Right. Greatmortgagebroker.com. And we will take a look at it. You mentioned it before where tracking the no answers is a good idea. And I haven't necessarily started tracking it, but when I give somebody good financial advice, that is where, I check, did my job or didn't do my job. It's not whether a loan was written or not.
We're going to write very different than the call centers. They are solely motivated by writing the next loan. They don't give a rat's tail about whether or not it's good for them.
Yeah. And real quick plug for Matt the Mortgage Guy YouTube channel. Sometime in the next week, this is going to come out. I recorded a 24-minute call and we'll bleep out. So I won't, call out anybody by name, but these call centers are getting desperate. So they've got automatic dialers, and I went through 3 people, Mike. It was an initial call. And the guy asked me some information. He had my property address wrong. I made up numbers on how much I owed and what my house was worth. But I made it very clear. I've got a good interest rate. I've got no use for cash out, and I don't have any debt. The guy still was trying to sell me a loan for 24 minutes, Mike. And so I recorded the call as, a teachable moment for a lot of folks to, listen to the kind of stuff that people are trying to pitch, right? And they're going to come after you and your family members. I really like what you said too about, recognizing people in your network. If you're out there looking for real estate deals, you're watching One Rental at a Time, you're within this community, I hope that people in your network know that you're interested in real estate, because that's one of the ways you're going to find deals, right? They know you like real estate. They know you're savvy. Be a resource to those folks and tell them like, hey, listen, if you want to get a second opinion, you can do it yourself if you know enough about it to say, this looks a little bit funky. I think that like 19,000 in fees
Yeah.
I know somebody who can take a look at this for you, right? And, that is adding true value to your network. That's helping somebody out by not letting them do something like that. Because once I kind of uncloud someone's judgment and I go, hey, listen, it would feel good to not have that 24,000 in credit card debt, but this is setting you back, right? You're taking multiple steps backward. Sometimes, not everybody, is financially educated enough to really see through what is quite honestly some call center BS.
Yeah. Folks, again, let's help some people. Let's protect them. Again, I've been doing this for 21 years. If these people are preyed on and they do these bad deals, they are one step closer to getting off the property ladder. They could lose their home with the next recession or next thing. So don't let this happen to anybody you know. Reach out, get greatmortgagebroker.com, second opinion. He'll tell you if it's a bad deal. Sometimes it makes sense. By all means, there are some scenarios, but let's be careful today. You are being sold to. They know what buttons to push. Be careful. Any last words?
I think that's it. Yeah. Greatmortgagebroker.com. Let us know where you're at, how we can help. And we're more than happy to. And like I said, we're not in the business of seeing how many tally marks we can get for how many loans we can write. We're just trying to help people.
Awesome, man. That's why you're part of the channel, part of my course. Thank you for all you do.
Thanks, Mike.